Welcome to Cape Media News. I'm Gabrielle Rosson, and I am here today with Zak Mertz, the Executive Director of the Birdsey Cape Wildlife Center. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Of course. So I was on Facebook the other day, and I saw you guys posting videos, and I thought, this is great that you guys are out there continuing to help animals, wildlife during this crazy time. But could you tell me a little bit more about how COVID-19 has impacted your operation and kind of how you guys are handling things now?
Sure. So the Cape Wildlife Center is the Cape Cod branch of the New England Wildlife Centers. So we run two fully functioning veterinary wildlife hospitals and education centers at this point. And just like everyone else, we have been affected in a lot of ways. It's been a very busy but different couple of weeks for us. And our main focus right now is pivoting our model so we can continue having impact on our community while maintaining social distancing, keeping people safe, and keeping animals safe. So I can kind of go through what we've done to keep up services, if that's helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. You had told me that when we talked before that you guys are closed to the public, but that a lot of people are home, and because they're home, they're noticing wildlife. And so, yeah, tell me how you guys are continuing to operate as a facility that kind of takes in wildlife in need.
Sure. So first we run two facilities that are open to the public. So in a given week, we get, 100, 200 people in our facility. So we really recognized early on that keeping our doors open, doing our education wasn't going to be a responsible way to go because we don't want to put staff, volunteers, students, or members of the public at risk by coming in our doors. So what we have been able to do, when this all happened, we had hospitals full of patients. So we had, at the Weymouth location, there are folks that are living on site or are coming in shifts. At the Cape location, we have people that were able to move in and live on site or live right next door. So we've been able to really sort of corral our folks to limit exposure that way. And it means that the patients in our hospital, probably between the two places, 120 patients are well taken care of. They're still being looked after, getting all their medications, food. So that was sort of our baseline. That's the first thing we needed to do. And then from there, we launched a pilot of a program we've been working on. Weren't planning to roll it out this quickly, I'll tell you that, but of a rescue service. And so we've had rescue teams going out of both hospitals, Weymouth and Cape Cod, in our vans. And we've been able to do pickups in the wild, right? So we can send folks. We can't go into people's homes, of course. We are trying to have no contact with the public. But if there's an animal out there that's in trouble and we have the resources to take care of it, we'll try to pick it up. And that does come with one caveat, is that because of how few staff we're able to have in the building safely, we're not able to get every animal. We'll do it.
Tell me, actually, what types of animals are you, well, you mentioned patients, having a lot of patients. What sort of patients are you currently caring for? And which ones have you been noticing maybe an influx in?
Sure. This lockdown has come at a very inopportune time for wildlife care. We're in spring baby season, right? So this is the month that it all explodes, and all of the squirrels, possums, foxes, coyotes, young birds, you name it, this is the time that they're having their young. And those young are trying to go out into the world, and they get in trouble in one way or another. So normally we'd be taking in, probably 20, 30, 40 patients a day this time of year. And unfortunately, we're not quite at that capacity, but we're still seeing a lot of the same things. In the last week, we've taken in a possum who was hit on the road by a car. She had, it was a mama opossum, believe it or not. She broke her arm, but she had babies in the pouch. So we've been able to take her in, do surgery. She's recovering really well and still caring for her babies. So that was a huge one for us. It's really cute. And always better in mom's hands. She always does a better job than we will. We rescued an osprey this week. This was an adult, but it was from Barnstable Natural Resources, found it. He was hit by a car, and luckily a short rehab, didn't have any breaks or anything like that. And he was released yesterday and headed right back for his nest, which was great. In addition to that, we took in a groundhog. We had a fox that was caught in a leg hold trap, believe it or not. We had, on the Weymouth side, some of the normal stuff, the baby squirrels, baby rabbits, hawk that was shot. It's a little bit of everything, honestly. We'll see 200 patients, 200 different species of patients in a given year. So this time is no different. It's just retrieving them is the new thing for us.
Right. And so tell me a little bit more about, I mean, obviously you guys are following safety protocol. You had started to talk a little bit about some of your education and outreach, which is a big part of what you guys do. So how has this pandemic affected that, and how are you adapting?
Sure. So yeah, half of our operation is education. We believe that everything we do, every patient exam, every service we provide to an animal should be an educational opportunity. So in a normal time, we have school kids right in the hospital with us, or student interns, or high school interns. And obviously we can't do that. Most of the folks we work with are out. So what we did is we have adapted our model quickly. We have to be flexible in these times. So we reached out to the schools we were already working with, a lot of middle schools, and said, hey, can we finish, these 5-session programs we're doing via video with you? What do you want to know? What topics are you not able to cover in the classroom right now? Like, what's the hardest science topic that being dismissed has really thrown a wrench in for you? And we'll try to step up and produce something in our hospital. So we've been doing that, a lot of pre-recorded. We've also had so much fun and a lot of good luck doing Facebook Lives. And so the minute an animal walks in, we can start that recording. People are right there on the table with the animal. A lot of times our vet team is there tending to the animal, doing real life emergency veterinary work, and I'll be in the background narrating it and applying the science topics over top of it. So, if we're talking about x-rays, I may start talking about physics. If they're taking a blood sample, I may start talking about microbiology and that kind of thing. But it just gives it this, you kind of breaks down the barriers for a lot of people at home, because they're in a spot they would never normally be able to be in. Right. And they're getting exciting content. It's not just staring at a PowerPoint on a screen. It's something that has, real impact, and they can put a real concept to what the picture that they're seeing in front of them.
Yeah, and people are looking for content probably more than ever now, because they're not out, living life per se. A lot of people, almost everyone, is stuck at home. So it's a great time, and animals are so wonderful. Now, how is this impacting you guys financially? Because obviously you're not operating like you used to. What position are you guys in right now?
Sure. I mean, I think just like everyone across the board, it's really hard. We're a donation funded nonprofit. No, federal tax money pays for it. No one pays for the medical care. We depend on people that bring in animals to give us donations. We depend on grants and foundations and a lot of our education programs. We also run a fee-for-service veterinary practice, which has really severely had to cut down on the number of patients they're seeing for human safety and animal safety. So we're hurting in a lot of ways, but by adapting so quickly, by getting out there, by just trying to continue providing services and the education and showing people that there has been no loss of service here. We're not sleeping on the job. We're working every bit as hard, just in a new format. We're hoping that the community will value that and step up and continue to support us.
Absolutely. And how can people get involved? Obviously they can't physically volunteer, but how can they support you? Or if they wanted to donate, where would they send those donations?
Sure. You can go, our Facebook is probably our most active place right now. There's live videos all the time. And our website is capewildlifecenter.com. You can donate in either of those spaces, get involved in the education that's going on, interact with us that way, ask science questions. And then once this is all over, we are always looking for volunteers and interns. So it's a good time to think about it.
Awesome. That's wonderful. And then obviously if somebody does see an injured wild animal in their yard while they're hiding in their house, how did they reach you for help?
Sure. So what I did is I took our front desk phone and I forwarded it to my personal cell phone, which has been a lot. But I am here all the time. I will answer calls as soon as I get them and as quickly as I can. But if you call our Weymouth branch or our Cape branch, which I'm on, you'll get a call back, and we'll do our best to help you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being our guest today and for telling us all about Cape Wildlife Center, the Birdsey Cape Wildlife Center. I really do hope our viewers will check you guys out on Facebook and check out your website and your content. And we'll check in with you again maybe a few weeks or a month from now and see how you guys are doing.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, and stay safe, everybody.
Thanks. You too. For Cape Media News, I'm Gabrielle Rosson. Thanks for watching.